YouTube, what is going on? Good to see you again. Derek Nielsen here, giving you another rundown for Bad Girls Club. This time it's going to be for Season 5, Episode 5, an episode that I would personally like to call The One with the Horny Juice. And if you've seen this particular episode, you know exactly why we are calling it that. Now, before we get started, I have to let you know, we've got a sponsor this go-round. That's right, man, moving up in the world. This particular Bad Girls Club recap has been brought to you by Titties. So if you get a chance, head down to your neighborhood grocer and check out a pair for me. This episode starts us off in the middle of that low blow game that was going on between Brandy, aka Party Poopin' Brandy, and Danielle, aka The Repeater. These ladies, they were going at it, and with a low blow game, I'll tell you, no one ever really wins. But regardless, one item that you may have actually missed while it was going on was Leah, aka Sweet Pasty Cheeks, decides she wants to dissolve the situation, and in doing so, she actually pushes Brandy up against the railing. Now, you can actually see that Brandy gets a little upset about this, but she's not going to do anything because she's in love with Leah. And from there, Brandy simply just picks up this bucket of throw up, tosses it at Danielle, and walks inside the house. We've got spit, we've got throw up. I'm just going to go on record for saying once they decide to start throwing shit at each other, I'm going to take my television out back and I'm going to shoot it. Okay? Now, the very next day, the ladies are doing the whole thing down in the Everglades. A good point of interest was when someone had the great idea, wonderful idea, to moon the camera and take a picture. Now, who took the picture? Come on, do you really have to guess on that one? And who kept their drawers on? I will tell you who did that. It was Saint Katya, our resident saint, but if you're going to use her holy name, it's Our Lady of Plentiful Bosom. Now, from there, there's a quick scene where you've got Kristen, who is going around flashing random strangers and asking to see their goods as well. And, at least she's equal opportunity. And I'll tell you, crazy Kristen, she's actually pretty fun. She seems like she's all right. I was kind of iffy about her at first. I didn't really know, but she seems like she's okay. From there, the ladies are getting ready to do the whole club thing, and once they get to the bar, you actually see Leah outside talking with Brandy, who is in turn trying to get those sweet pasty cheeks of hers. And it's interrupted when you see there's a slap inside the bar. Kristen decides to slap this guy because he's taken a dildo and tried to put it inside of her ear. I don't know where he got the dildo from. I don't want to know where he got the dildo from. I don't want to know why he put it in her ear. What I'd like to know is if you've got 7 bad girls chasing you down the street and you're armed with a dildo, not to mention what God has given you naturally, why in the fuck are you running? Had that been me, I swear, I'd attached a rope to that little dildo, I'd have started spinning that damn thing around and whoosh, right to the first one, got her in the mouth, bring that shit back, start swinging it around and say, who else wants some? Oh yeah, second one goes out, man, gets around. As are leaving the club, you actually are able to see that Brandy really likes Leah. She's laying it on thick, but Leah does not return the same level of love and admiration. So once they get to the house, Brandy goes off by herself and goes to sleep, and Leah, wanting to change the mood of the house, decides to get naked so that we could all see those sweet pasty cheeks of hers, and she invites anyone else who wants to come into the pool with her to do so. A couple of ladies do, and then they decide to run into the house so that they can remove the holy draws of Saint Katya. Now, they're able to get them about halfway down, but those holy hands of hers bring them right back up, and she runs off and does her own thing. Now, upset because no one else wants to see her draws and pull them down, you've got Brandy, who decides to basically be Party Poopin' Brandy and ruin the party for everyone by yelling and screaming. She even goes out to Puke Porch just so she can yell and scream and do all kinds of stuff out there. Now, what gets me, I'm curious why she didn't just call her little lesbian police officer friend back over for another fucking flea. You may be wondering, what's a fucking flea? I'll explain it to you. That's fuck and Leah's pretty frustrated about the whole situation and the way everything is going down, so her and Kristen decide to actually go and have a confessional while they're doing the whole confessional thing, if you look to the outside of the room, you've got Kung Fu Kaylee, who now comes complete with wine glass grip, basically hovering around listening, doing her thing. Now, a few scenes later, you're actually able to see Danielle and Erica, aka Rump Shaker, doing the very same thing. So you almost get the feeling that all the ladies do this pretty much, at some point in time while they're there. Regardless, the very next morning, you have Kaylee talking with Brandy about the events of the previous evening. Brandy is pulling one of these, oh, I didn't know what I was doing, I was drunk. Forgive these people when they do this if you will, but I will guarantee you they will continue to do it for as long as you forgive them. After that, though, the ladies are all out shopping, doing their thing, and it's time to confront Kaylee for her listening, which, to me, who gives a shit? You're saying it, it's going to be on television, people are going to see it anyway. Who cares if she's hovering? Let her fucking hover. But she breaks down, she starts crying, it's a horrible thing. But even with that, I can tell you it's crazy because Kaylee is on the verge of a nervous breakdown. She says it later on in the episode, but there's a scene when Kat is actually cleaning, and she's talking about how messy all the ladies are, and you actually see a couple of the other ladies go to the sink. And in this sink, you actually see a lock of Kaylee's hair just sitting there. It doesn't look like, now just a we have the beach trip. The ladies decide that it's somehow more economically feasible to just take a taxi cab down there and back rather than do the whole just drive down there and drive back yourselves. Now, while they're down there, they're flirting with old dudes. Kaylee is admitting to Kristen that she is on the verge of a nervous breakdown, and it's the infamous fight. What gets me about this, you had Kate from last season, who was from Boston, who had to throw what had to be the slowest right hook in Bad Girls Club history. Not like Kristen, who threw what had to be the fastest left jab in Bad Girls Club history. Don't even look to see her throw the punch. Just look to see the other girl's face turn and for the crowd to really ignite after that stuff happens. It was an interesting little fight, and even after that, Kristen actually gets hit with a two-piece from the other lady, and she ends up leaving the side dish and the drink right there on the beach. Okay, now, as the ladies are leaving the beach, you actually see and hear Sweet Pasty Cheeks just going ballistic, yelling out various area codes and saying she's going to take this person on and that person on. Back at the house, though, you actually see Brandy talking trash about how she's big and bad and she's going to beat this person up. And even when she goes out, she's constantly looking around her shoulders and stuff. Not for a rock, but for people who are trying to actually beat her up. From there, you've got the ladies getting dressed. Two ladies you want to take a look for, Sweet Pasty Cheeks, as well as Rump Shaking Erica. Man, they're looking like burlesque dancers, and I was really, really happy about all that. Now, it was almost like a commercial. You've got Danielle who walks in the room, and she's all down in the dumps, dressed in all black. She's looking at the floor, got her hands in her pocket, and they're like, oh, what's wrong? And she's like, oh, I don't feel good, blah, 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 blah. But they still decide to go out and have a great time with the help of Horny Juice. And it was interesting to see all that happen because they get out there, they get to the club, they're all doing their thing. The liquor begins to take hold. And people get to touch it and the feeling when they get that liquor in them. Hold on. Oh yeah, it's good stuff, man. Now, while they're there, you actually see Leah, a.k.a. Sweet Pasty Cheeks, actually sit on Brandy's lap. And, her hand is doing a little exploring, and she gets to grabbing her titty. And now, the grab is not what Leah had a problem with, from what I saw. It was when you saw the claw come on top and just begin to take the whole titty down. It's like, okay, hold on. She gets up, she goes somewhere else, and she starts really getting it on with all the other ladies. And then you have the limo ride home. Now, you had Danielle basically going around pulling a Kendra, kissing everybody in the vehicle. And man, which was the best kiss? For me, I would say it had to be Katya and Danielle. You actually see Danielle go over to Brandy and try and give her a kiss. And the thing about this is this, this woman said, well, she was talking about your heroin problem, she was making fun of you on television, and you still were willing to bury the hatchet and do all that. Man, Danielle, man, she's all right in my book. I like that repeater. She's okay, man. I can hang out with her. But regardless of all that, man, the ladies get back home. And if you've ever heard the phrase, her jeans looked like they were sprayed on, take a look at Saint Katya's holy attire. I mean, it was almost like someone just threw paint, just like let it sit there. The party comes to a halt once Brandy makes a last effort to convince Leah that she loves her, wants to hang all over her and be with her. She even grabs a cheese grater. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what in the hell are you going to do? Shred some mozzarella and make her a fucking pizza? Regardless of all that, Leah pushes her away. Brandy gets upset and breaks the statue, the globe. It's got the little neon lights, so there's broken glass everywhere. Can't work for Puffy because I got no hair. The next morning, though, you've got Danielle, who calls the meeting. And I'll tell you this, the word sleep never looked so good. During the meeting, Brandy uses that tired old excuse, I was drunk. The funny thing about all that, though is while Leah gets a personal apology, everyone else is kind of just like, yeah, sorry about that, man. Shit. The guy at the door telling the ladies that they're all going to be going to Jamaica. We all know what happens when bad girls leave the country or go on a road trip, so this is going to be interesting. One of the ladies is probably going to leave. I'm thinking it's probably going to be Kaylee. Not sure. We will see what happens when Oxygen airs its new episode of Bad Girls Club Season 5, Episode 6 tomorrow on the Oxygen Network. In the meantime, don't forget, people, that this week is actually Vintage Porn Week, so go to your favorite porn website or your favorite video store and check out some of your favorite films of yesteryear. Please don't forget as well, because this is 2010, the 80s count. Want to thank you guys for actually tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. And in the meantime, have one for me. That's interesting. Well, I'm going to need 2 cases of that horny juice then. Yeah, I mean, buying in bulk seems like the obvious way to go. Now, question: do you guys have this in different flavors, or is this just a one flavor thing? Okay. Right. Now, if I were to put this in, let's say, barbecue sauce, will this still have the same effect? I see. Well, I'm satisfied. Do you guys take check? Hello?